Creative, and this is a little walkthrough for your high converting homepage formula. The point of this infographic is to give you a starting point to create a homepage that is really resonating with your ideal clients and inspiring them to take action. And that action is often to connect with you, to book a call, to get on your mailing list, whatever action you choose to start the conversation. So this formula is ideal for service-based businesses, client-facing businesses, and personal brands. So if you're the face of your business, if you work with clients directly, this is a great starting point for your homepage. If you want to get leads and clients online, it is really important. I mean, you're going to make your life really hard if you don't have a website that aligns with your message and inspires people, gives people an easy and obvious way to connect with you. So this is the starting point for a really great website. It's a really high converting homepage. So let me just walk you through section by section here and give you a little bit more insight into each of these areas. So you'll see that in this first section here, I have a picture of myself and an indication for a crystal clear statement. So you probably guessed this isn't an indication for what your website should look like, but it's just for the content for now. So a crystal clear statement, some people call it your message or your hook, but it's a statement that gives people the impression that they've found what they're looking for. So you're giving people enough information to know that, oh, this could be interesting for me, or this could be useful for me. Sometimes people try to be really clever or really controversial with this, the first statement on their homepage, but I really recommend that you create a crystal clear statement, a message that you take with you wherever you go. So that's on your site and all of your social media stuff and any kind of public appearances or networking that you do. You create this statement and you bring it with you everywhere you go, and you're more likely to get known for that thing. So I'll go into more detail about this in a follow-up email, but in this crystal clear statement, you're letting people know that they found what they're looking for, and you're using a picture of yourself so that they know who they're talking to. If we were to create a more elaborate version of this formula, you could add below that the value proposition. So what transformation do you help people to achieve? What thing can you help people to create? What is the real outcome of your service? So that's the key to the hero section. So the first section of your high converting homepage. So definitely using an image of yourself is a great start. People want to meet you or make eye contact with you at least, so that they know who they're actually talking to. If you get the chance to work with a professional photographer, I'd highly recommend doing that as well. It really is worth the investment. But failing that, get into daylight, get a decent camera, and get a photograph of yourself looking out. The second section in your high converting homepage is your call to action. So if you're not familiar with this term, a call to action is what are you asking the site visitor to do? What are you asking them to click or to complete, or what are you asking them to do as they encounter this page? So a call to action could be, it's very often an email sign up. So with a lead magnet or an opt-in incentive or a freebie, whatever you want to call it, you're offering something of value for free in exchange for their email address. So very often the call to action is to join a mailing list. But if you haven't got that all set up yet, you could invite them to ask you a question or to book a call with you or a free appointment, or whatever way is the most feasible for you to start getting leads and clients. So as soon as somebody signs up or connects with you, you have their contact details to follow up. And that's your job as a service provider, to follow up with them by email or how they have asked to be followed up with. So your call to action, try and make it just one thing. So maybe you do offer a free call, or maybe you do have a mailing list with a freebie, or maybe you do want people to contact you by email. Choose one at a time. It's okay to have those three going on your site, but really choose the most likely thing for people to do, the most likely action for them to take. Choose that and put that in the kind of after your crystal clear statement and value proposition on your homepage. So what do you want them to do? Make it as easy and obvious as possible for them to do that. After that, so I've listed these in order. It doesn't necessarily have to be this exact order. As you're assembling it, it will kind of feel this will start to make sense as you add, as you create this homepage, or if you just look at the homepage that you've already created, just make sure that these ingredients are there, these elements are there. They don't necessarily have to be in this order. I just like them in this order because you're telling them why they should stick around, you're inviting them already to take action, and your client testimonials are really proving this crystal clear statement. And they're kind of qualifying the fact that this statement that you're making up here, yeah, we sampled it and she's honest, she's capable of giving you this transformation. So if your past clients have given you testimonials and they're really long, I do recommend that you edit them down a little bit, still using their words, of course, but making sure that it's kind of to the point, because people on a homepage especially are less inclined to read paragraph after paragraph of text. So a nice, concise testimonial or couple of testimonials on your homepage, they're really valuable to kind of just reiterate or offer proof that what you're saying at the top of your page is actually true. Another word on the call to action here, if it is a freebie, your freebie, lead magnet, or opt-in incentive, whatever you want to call it, it should be connected to your message, to your crystal clear statement. It should kind of reinforce the fact or go into a detail of that transformation or solution. So I hope I'm not getting too technical, but basically the thing that you say at the top of the page here, the whole rest of the page is serving to prove that that's true. After your client testimonials, now you can have client testimonials dotted throughout your entire site. You can even have a dedicated page for client testimonials, but really having them to the point and on your homepage to qualify that homepage statement is really, really valuable. Next up is your high value content. So this can take many forms. If you have some blog content or even some videos that you've recorded that offer some kind of value, some kind of insight, it's great to have them on your homepage because, again, it's proving that that homepage statement, that hero section statement is true. And it also shows a little bit more detail of the service that you provide. So if you have some cornerstone pieces that really showcase the fact that you know what you're talking about or showcase that you really understand the problem, it'll invite them into the site, to go deeper into the site, to read more of your content and to really get a sense of what you can offer them and how you could help. So some high value content, great if you could have maybe 3 of your most popular blog posts there to really invite people in and get them kind of on board with the working with you. So your story, so you might call this your About Me section or your story section. It's a natural thing to want to start the page with this, especially as a personal brand. Say, hi, I'm Claire, this is who I am, this is all about me. But the natural thing isn't what we're going to do here. It's to really frame your story as a way that you are in service to your clients. So resist the urge to start talking about how qualified and how much of an expert you are. Really on your homepage, and now your story can be further up if you want to, but it should focus on the transformation that you offer. What are you helping people to do or achieve or create? And that is the kind of the backbone of your story. Later on, you can talk about your qualifications and how you got into this business and that kind of thing. But at this stage, you're really talking about how you're of service to others. And these would all have buttons that bring them further into the site. So your story or your About Me section can lead them into your About page. And again, the focus there is not about you, but how you are of service to others. So each of these sections, I'm going to follow up with a couple more emails with you to go into a little bit more detail on how you can create these sections of the inside of your website. So the last section here is the footer and the bottom bar. So we call this the junk drawer because there are things that need to be findable on your site, but they don't need to be front and center leading the journey through your site. So you're not going to have your terms and conditions or your frequently asked questions at the very top of your page. They need to be findable. They need, like, your legal information needs to be in there, your cookies, disclaimer, and all that kind of stuff. It needs to be available and findable, but you don't want it to take up your main navigation of your site. So your footer can have all of those extra links, and you can have all of it can reiterate your main menu as well. But any of that stuff that needs to be on your site, but you don't want it to be front and center in your main menu, your junk drawer is the best place for that. And then at the very bottom, important not to forget it, to keep your copyright and the current year up to date. So if you look at your website, make sure that the copyright is there and that the current year or the span of years that your website has been in existence is up to date. So it might be 2010 to 2020 or whatever the span of time your website has been in existence. So all rights reserved, Claire Gallagher, that's my name. And then you can put in any credits for who helped you to build the site or the photographer that you worked with as well. So that's just a breakdown of your high converting homepage formula. Keep an eye on your inbox because I'm going to be sending you some really good, valuable stuff for each of these sections in the coming days. Okay, that's it for me for now. If you need a little bit more insight for the moment, pop over to clairecreative.com. I have a blog there with some really good, useful content. All right, I'll talk to you soon.